Alright, so I'm continuing with my grade 9 ASP practice questions for the end of term 2 exam. I left off at the start of projectiles, projectile motion, horizontally launched. So we're going to go through these questions from the focused practice questions. Okay, let's get started. Neglecting air resistance, what we're going to say is the initial horizontal and vertical horizontal velocity. So let's get the idea first of all. If I throw something in the air, it's going to go along and come down because of gravity, and it's going to hit the ground over here. Once I've thrown it or kicked it or whatever, I have applied my pressure, I have broken my leg. I don't know why. I've kicked the ball and it's gone up that way. I've stopped applying a force. Horizontally, the forces are balanced. So horizontally, it is a constant velocity. Vertically, it is accelerating because of gravity, yes. Vertically, it will slow down, stop vertically, and come back down again, and get faster and faster on the way down. Horizontally, it's the same. So at the end, at the initial, and on the final, the horizontal speed is exactly the same. The vertical acceleration, that's due to gravity. Acceleration is always pointing downwards and it's always minus 9.8. So that means now I'm going to use the minus. In the previous questions I didn't because it wasn't important. Now it will be. So minus 9.8 stays the same. That also remains the same. So the vertical speed, is it going to ask about it? Maybe it won't. Vertical speed, you can talk about it. It is decreasing on the way up and then increasing on the way down. Fun fact, the speed on the way up at the exact same level on the other side is exactly the same as the speed on its way down. So if it's upwards here, if this was plus 5 meters per second, the other side will be minus 5 meters per second. Something to know for future. Which statement is true regarding the horizontal acceleration? Well, as I mentioned, the forces are balanced horizontally. It is a constant speed. That means there is no acceleration horizontally. Vertically, yes. Horizontally, no. Okay, great. In this case, a stone is thrown vertically upwards. So here's my stone, and I throw it upwards. And of course, then it's going to come back down and hit me again or whatever. We need to know the descending part of this journey. So actually I care more about the on the way down. On the way down. So over here, so it's going up and then coming back to where I started from. Okay. The position, well, it's upwards, right? Up is positive, down is negative, down is negative. So if my hand was here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is my hand. I've got an abnormally long thumb. If my hand is here and the ball went up and came back down, no matter where the ball is, it is going to be in the vertical position in a positive direction. So A, B, and D are correct. C is totally wrong. Next, the velocity. What can we say about the velocity then? In this case, we're going to have the speed of this thing is actually coming downwards, so the velocity will be negative. Velocity will be negative. So we have this one, A is out. We have positive, negative. These two are good. So far, we have B and D. The position is upwards, so the position is above where I started. If it's above where I started, it is positive. It is on the way down, so the velocity is negative. Acceleration also points down. Acceleration is pointing down. Gravity, right? Gravity is always down. So acceleration should also be negative. So I've got rid of A. B, negative, yes, it is. This is positive, that is wrong. So that means the correct answer must be B. Positive position because it's above where I started. Negative velocity because it's coming down. Negative acceleration because it's also pointing down. Very nice. A child kicks a ball with this speed at this angle horizontally. What is the horizontal component? That is exactly the same thing we did when we were doing the previous video, and we are now finding the horizontal component. So in this case, the horizontal component will be h cos theta. If you don't know how to get that, check my previous video. Horizontal component is going to be h cos theta. So directly I will write 8.5 times cos of 35. 8.5 cos 35, checking that out in your calculator, hopefully you'll get around 7. Vertical component, vertical will be h sine theta, h sine. The vertical component is up the way, opposite of my angle, opposite. That will become h sine theta. This is usually the case. Horizontal is usually always cos and vertical is usually always sine. So I'm going to write the same thing, 8.5 times sine of 35, 8.5 sine 35. Putting that into the calculator, hopefully you get this answer here, 4.9. Amazing. Let's continue. Now, in this case, we're kicking a football across. Assume that the force in the air is negligible. You need to find the time of flight. You need to find the maximum height and a few things. So, let's go ahead and do it. In this case, it looks like they've given us this. This says 60 meters. So, to be honest, I can find the time by doing the horizontal component, but I'm not sure if that's exactly 60, so I'm not going to do that. I have to separate this now. I will have a horizontal component, horizontal, and I will have a vertical. We have to separate them because horizontal and vertical are independent of each other. Horizontal is very easy. You just need the horizontal speed, you need the horizontal range, the distance, and then the time. I need 2 out of 3 to solve. In this case, I kind of have the distance. I'm not entirely sure. It could be 60. It might not be exact, but I do have the initial velocity. Before I even read the question, horizontally, I'm just going to quickly write 27 cos of 30, because horizontal is cos. That might be important at some point. Vertically, there's 5 pieces of information. We will have the v final. We have the v initial, just like you did equations of motion in term 1. We have acceleration. We have time, and we have displacement. Usually I use x, but this is vertical, so I should use y, and maybe I'll use y. Why not? It doesn't matter. This is the displacement. So, in this case, I need to figure out the hang time, time of flight. We have 3 equations of motion that I like to use. V final equals V initial plus AT. I have V final squared equals V initial squared plus 2AX, or I will say Y in this case. And then I have Y, or X, equals VI multiplied by T plus a half AT squared. Okay, now, if I have my angle, let's see what information I'm given. I only need 3 pieces of information to solve for the 4th. So my starting speed, I can get it. My starting speed will be 27 sine 30. 27 sine 30. We can go ahead and solve that. Let's just quickly check what that is. 27 sine 30. That gives me 13.5. 13.5 meters per second. My final speed, well, at the bottom, I could say the final speed is negative 13.5. As I mentioned, it is going to be the same as it comes down, but there is another way to solve it, which I'll get to in a quick second. And what I'm going to do is see what else I have. I have minus 9.8, which is gravity, the time I need, and the vertical height. I cannot see exactly what the vertical height is, so I'm not going to be able to use that one. So in this case, what I can do is I can see 1, 2, and let's see, the final speed, which I can do. I cannot use this one. Can I use this one? I don't need to find the height. I don't have the height, so I can't do it. I will use, what can I do? Do I have the height? No, I do not. I can do something. I can take this as my highest point. I know at the top V final will be 0. If I figure out V final being 0 at the top, I can actually find the time it takes to get here, and then I can double it to get to the other side. That's what I will do. That's a nice simple way. So I will now use V final, V initial, A and T. I can use this formula over here. I like this one. Let's try it now. V final equals Vi plus AT. I can rearrange, shift solve as you like. I will do, let's try rearranging. V final equals V initial plus AT. I will rearrange V final minus V initial divided by A will give me my time. Again, you don't need to. You can directly put the numbers in and you will get your answer. So V final, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it down. I'm running out of space. Let's do it anyway. V final. V final is 0. 0 minus V initial, which is going to be 13.5, divided by my acceleration, minus 9.8. You can see that they cancel. 13.5 divided by 9.8, I will get an answer of 1.37. 0.377, and so on and so on. Okay, I'll just round it up to 1.378. This is my time to reach here. I can double it now to find this. So total time, total, I will multiply by 2 because it's 2 halves. So I will times that by 2 and I will get my answer, 2.76. 2.76 seconds. That's what I will do to get my time. Perfect. I now have my time of 2.76. 2.76 seconds. Maximum height, that is when I'm happy that I used this, because now I need to find the maximum height, and I can go ahead and find the maximum height. I can use any of the formulas now that I have all the information I need to find y. I can do this formula right here, VIT plus half AT squared. I can use this and rearrange it. I'll keep it simple. Let's use this one over here. So I'll write this, maybe I'll change the color to blue so I don't get confused. Y is the maximum height equals VIT plus a half AT squared. Starting speed, we have it 13.5 times by 2.76 plus a half multiplied by 9.8 gravity minus 9.8, so it will be negative 9.8. 9.8, multiply that by the time, 2.76. No, not 2.76. Why? Because that's the total time. Oh God, I've done something. I can't do that, so what I will have to do is do that again. I will write it again. 13.5 multiplied by the time, which was not 2.76, that's the total time. I just need this time over here, 1.378 plus a half times negative 9.8 times the time, which we have again. This is the time to reach the maximum height. That was the time, 1.378 squared. Putting that into my calculator, I should get the answer. Let's try it. 13.5 times 1.378 plus 0.5 times negative 9.8 times 1.378 squared. In my calculator, I get 9.298. So 9.3, roughly 9.3 meters. That is my maximum height. Done. 9.3. So just to confirm, I didn't use 2.76 because that is the total time. I only used the time to reach the top, which I solved in the previous question. I used that to get me the answer. There is more than one way to solve this, by the way. You can use another equation of motion if you like. It's not a problem. You will get the same answer no matter what you do. Horizontal distance, well, I know my total horizontal time, right? That was 2.76. I know my horizontal time, so that means I can find my distance by using this formula. The distance horizontally is simply speed multiplied by time. I will go ahead and do that. Speed, I had not figured that out yet, so I will just write 27 cos 30. 27 cos 30 is about 23.4. 23.4. I'll write it down here. There's no point, no need to write it up there. I'll write it here. 23.4 multiplied by 2.76, and that will be my horizontal distance times 2.76. I have a horizontal distance of about 64.5 meters. That is 64.5 meters. I like it. And that's, okay, well, kind of close enough. The picture wasn't to scale, but that looks good. I like it. Next, the player kicks a ball with the same speed but at 60 degrees from the horizontal. What is the ball's flight time and range? So you're going to have to go ahead and solve it again. So we're going to kick the ball with the same speed, but now I'm changing this starting speed. That will become sine 60 instead. So if I wanted to do that, I can, not a problem. I can use exactly the same rules if I wanted to do that to find the ball's flight time and range. I can find the time it takes to get halfway, and then I can find the total time by doubling it. I can go ahead and do that. Why not? Let's give it a try. So the time to reach the maximum, I'm going to use the same rules here, the same stuff, but I will now change that to 60. So let's give it a try. V final would be 0 at the top. V initial will be 20, how much was it? 27 sine 60. Let's do that. 27 sine 60. That is 23.4. That is A is going to be minus 9.8. And the time, I don't know. And the vertical distance, I don't know. Okay, 3 pieces of information to find the fourth. Yes, I have it. We can do it. Let's see. The time I can do exactly the same above here. I'm going to use this formula over here, and I rearranged for t. I will do exactly the same thing. V final minus V initial divided by A. You can do shift solve if you like. At the top, right here, the speed is 0. The final speed is 0 minus 23.4. Divide that by minus 9.8. Putting that into my calculator, I will get my new answer. 23.4 divided by 9.8. The minuses cancel. That gives me 2.38 seconds. And if I want to find the total, I will double it. I will multiply that by 2 to get the total time of flight. Because if you remember, that is the time to reach halfway. I will double it to get the total time. So I'll just times that by 2. By doing that, I will get my answer of 4.77 or 4.78 if I rounded correctly seconds. You can check the answer key. You have the answers with you to verify my answers and fact check me. You can correct me in the comment section. But I believe that's correct. Next, what is the range? The range is the horizontal range. I will just do that. Distance is speed multiplied by time. The horizontal speed will be 27 cos 30. 27 cos, not 30, because I've increased it, didn't I? It's 60. 27 cos 60. Multiply that by my time, total time. That was 4.78. It's 4.77, but it rounded up to 4.78. So I will do that now. 27 cos 60. I'm just going to multiply that now by 4.78, and I will get my answer of 64.53. So that's interesting. I doubled my angle, but it didn't make much difference to my final horizontal range. It kind of stayed the same. Really nice. Okay, let's move on. In this case here, we have a bullet, and we're going to fire it at this angle. What is the time taken to reach the maximum height? So let's see again. V final, V initial, A, T, and Y, I will say. Usually X, I'll call it Y. V final, maximum height, 0. V initial, I can find it. It'll be 20 sine of 60. This is at an angle, so I cannot use 20. I must do 20 sine 60. Let's check it now. 20 sine 60. I will get 17.3. 17.3. The acceleration is gravity, minus 9.8. The time I don't know, which is what I'm trying to find. I don't know the y, so I need 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. I can do it. I will use, well, the same rule, right? That's interesting. So I've used the same rule 3 times. Keep it simple. Why not? V final minus V initial divided by A. You know this time? No, I'll keep it like this. No, I'll keep it. V final 0 minus 17 point, that's a 7 by the way, 17.3 divided by minus 9.8. By putting that into my calculator, we'll get the answer. 17.3 divided by 9.8. 3 over 9.8. You will get 1.77. 1.77. And this is going to be the time, so that will be seconds. For the maximum height, I don't need to double it, because I did not ask for the total. I only asked the time to reach the maximum height. So no need to double it. That's not a 5, that's an S, the unit seconds. I'm going to stop there and move on to circular motion in the next video. Thank you.